Hi guys, my name is Stephanie Calderon. I work for Workforce Solutions Capital Area, and today I have the privilege to interview two beautiful women who work in the dental field. Both of them work in the South Austin area at a pediatric dental office. We have Ashley with us and Debbie. So ladies, I just wanted to thank you first and foremost for joining us for this webinar and allowing me to interview you about your career. This is going to be extremely helpful for our graduating seniors and prospecting alumni that's going to be coming out for the Austin Capital area. So I have a ton of questions for you guys to answer because I get these questions all the time when I'm at school, and I would love for you to answer in your perspective of your past experience and kind of what's going on in day-to-day life. So before we start that, I did want to go ahead and allow you to introduce yourself. So Ashley, would you like to go first?
Yes. So my name is Ashley and I work at a pediatric office. I've been in the dental field for about 11 years. For schooling, I went to Allied Health Careers, and that is like a trade school. Of course, there's other options. And for loans, I think I spent roughly around 12,000, maybe a little bit more. What I enjoy about dental assisting is working with children ages 6 months to 18 years of age and teaching about oral health, because a lot of kids don't really know about oral health or they really don't care for it, and I want them to get excited for it.
Awesome. Yeah, I totally see that. Great. Well, thank you. And Debbie, do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself as well?
Yes. So my name is Debbie, and I chose to be a dental hygienist because this career allows me to help others through education and prevention. I went to a school at Del Mar College in Corpus Christi. Roughly spent about 25 to 30,000 for the program. There are scholarships and aids. So as soon as you're finding about a university you're interested in, you go ahead and find out about those aids and those scholarships, and I would quickly start applying for them so they can help you out throughout the program. I have been a dental hygienist for 7 years. And what I really enjoy most about the dental office is I get to connect with different people and I get to educate them about their dental oral health cavities.
Oh my gosh, yes. Yeah. If they're anything like me, I'm asking all the questions. Does it look good in there? You know, what could I be doing? You know, tell me what I'm doing great at. So that's awesome that you two both share that passion and love to educate, because we all need it, especially because we didn't go to school for all of that stuff. So awesome. So in the sake of time, I'll go ahead and start with you, Debbie, if you don't mind. Could you explain what a dental hygienist is?
The dental hygienist is a licensed oral health professional who is responsible for preventing and treating all types of oral diseases.
Okay, and what is your average salary for a dental hygienist?
So for a dental hygienist, it varies with each state. In the state of Texas, it's roughly around 60,000 to 75,000 per year.
Okay. And for my kiddos who don't really know about salaries yet, that averages around, you guys, from $32 to $39 an hour, roughly around that range in the capital area. So the hourly wage could differ depending on which area that you're in. But for Austin, the Metroplex area, that's the range. So is there a license that's required to become a dental hygienist?
So there is. It is a 2 to 4 year degree. And what you need for it is you need to graduate from an accredited dental hygiene program. And then you apply for a written exam that you have to pass, as well as a clinical examination that you also have to pass.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you. I feel like I understand a little bit more about that. Ashley, you're a dental assistant. Could you tell me what that is?
So a dental assistant is a person that prepares and organizes the tools needed for a procedure while assisting the dentist. They do other duties that include like record keeping, scheduling appointments, answering phones, patient care, just kind of going over how to brush your teeth, demonstration, stuff like that.
Awesome. Okay, so you're the nice greeting face that we see when they call our names to go back.
Yes. So call your name, I take you back, and then we take your x-rays, and then you see the dentist for about like 5 minutes, maybe less.
Yeah.
The time.
Right. We spend the most of the time with the dental assistant.
Yes.
And the person
and the hygienist. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The cleaning is the dental hygienist, right?
Yes.
Okay.
But some dental assistants can do the cleaning part, but they can't do the scaling, if I'm corrected, right, Debbie?
Okay, cool. Ashley, for a dental assistant, what's the average salary?
So the average salary in the state of Texas currently right now is about roughly the average is about 35,000
Okay,
a year.
good.
And
And
then
for
you
my
can
kiddos,
always move up and progress in that.
good. Always climb that ladder, you guys, for sure. For dental assisting in the capital area, Metroplex area, it's going to be $13 an hour to $19 an hour, which roughly is what she's talking about when she says salary. So, is there a license that's required to become a dental assistant, or can anybody just?
Yes. Yes. So you do have to go either to like ACC or trade school, or you could do training through like a dental assisting program. It's like a 12-week course. You could do something like that. But yes, you do have to go to school for it. It's like course involving procedures for positioning, exposing dental x-rays, and you get to go over infection control. And then you'll take a test, and then you'll get licensed through the Texas State Board of Dental Examiners.
Okay, awesome. Okay, great. So, my next question is, what type of specialties can you work for?
For a dental assistant, there's just so many things that you could do. It's not just like one job. So you can work at a pediatric office. So pediatric means you're working with children. You can also work at an oral surgery office. So that's like taking your wisdom teeth out, doing dental implants, doing biopsies. I actually had the pleasure of working at an oral surgery office for about 3 years, and it was really fun because we got to do just nothing but extraction. So if you like blood and all that other stuff, that's really fun specialty to go into. Another one is endodontist. So that's like something that you would do to save the tooth. So that's like root canals, if anyone ever had one of those, or like super long, super chill, relaxed specialty. And then another one is orthodontist. I'm sure you guys heard of that. So that has to do with braces, pretty much just like helping you have a perfect smile, straighter teeth. And then the last one is a periodontist. So that one just treats it does dental implants, but it also treats periodontal disease if you have
Okay.
that.
Okay, and what is that?
So it's just like inflammation of the gums. So if your
Oh,
gums
okay.
are very inflamed, that's where you would go to a periodontist and they can help you with that and get them healthier again.
Okay, guys. So if any of you guys have any tender gums or something's going on, you know where to go from here. So my next question, thank you, Ashley, for answering that. Maybe you can tell me a little bit more about the facilities that you can work for in that field.
So for the facilities, there's a wide range as well. You just don't have to work at one place. So one of them, it could be like a community clinic. You could work at a private practice. You can work at group practices, hospitals. You can also work at insurance companies and dental suppliers. And then you can also work at like for the state, like public health facilities. You can work at educational institutes. And then you can also work for like the Army, like Army Reserve, or like if they have any bases around here, they do hire dental assistants to help to treat the Army people, the veterans
Oh,
and stuff like
okay.
that.
I didn't know that. Do you
Yeah,
have
it's
to
pretty
be
cool.
in the military to work there
No, you
or?
don't. You don't. You could just, as long as you're a dental assistant, you have your license and you're able to work on people, then you can work there.
Well, that's cool. If any of
Yeah,
you
it
guys
is pretty cool.
want to work in the military atmosphere but don't want to really give in completely and swear in, then there's your option right there. Thank you, Ashley, for answering that.
You're welcome.
Debbie, could you tell me what's the typical schedule look like in the field?
So I personally have had the opportunity to work at both a general office and a pediatric office. Basically for both of them, in a general office, they tend to have longer appointments because of the age range. So they usually are about an hour-long appointments. And I work at a pediatric office, it's a little bit lesser time, more like 30 minutes, because they are smaller. We see as young as 6 months old. The great thing about both of them is you get to really see the different types of personalities and how you have to really change. You know, when you're working with adults, you can be a little bit more stern and more firm about certain things. And with a child, you have to be a little bit more tender, more compassionate about them. They do have a lot of anxiety, a lot of fears. Same with adults too, but you really have to learn how to be different between both of them. Both offices were amazing to work at. It really helped me grow as a dental hygienist and be able to be more compassionate and more understanding with each of them. So a typical day, it's pretty good, pretty flowy. You find your groove in it all.
Okay, well, that's good. Thank you for that perspective on kind of the audience that you're receiving and your clients and patients. What is the work environment with behind closed doors, like without patients? How is it working with your coworkers and your dentist?
So it is amazing. One key thing that I've always learned about any office that I ever worked at is teamwork. It's very important to have a very good team work with each other to be able to balance each other, because you really do need to feed off of each other. It's not just like just the dentist, just the hygienist, and just the assistant. We all
Mhm.
work together because, you know, the main priority is the patient, to get them in, have all of their needs be met, and be able to have them get them to have a great experience at the dental office. So teamwork is very vital. It's a very vital role in any dental office. You can have all the skills, you can have all the knowledge, but the teamwork is what is going to make the day flow great for you as a hygienist, as an assistant, as a dentist, and us together as a group.
Okay, no, that makes complete sense to me. It's definitely a collaborative effort, it seems, because at the end of the day, the patient is the one who's going to leave, and you want them to feel their best and you want them to feel good, especially if they're coming in with pain. So that's really good. Do you ever have to work holidays, or is there any bonuses or overtime?
So it varies with each office. You know, every office has their own specific benefits and their own specific bonuses and things like that they offer for their employees. One thing I would recommend is that whenever you do go out and you apply for a position, a job, make sure to ask those questions. A lot of us tend to shy away from those questions, but those are key questions to ask. You know, what benefits do you have? What bonus do you have? After so long, you know, do you offer health insurance? Things like that, because there's a lot of great benefits. And a lot of times, as barely graduating, we are very shy because we just want to get a job. Those are key questions that you should always ask, because those are probably the first mistakes that I personally made. Was I never really asked about those because I just wanted a job. I just wanted to start making money. I need to pay off my loans.
I agree. I've done that too. I didn't ask those questions. I was like, I want the job.
So those are the questions that you should definitely have confidence. You went to school, you learned what you needed to do to be able to get this education. So those are questions you should definitely ask. Again, also holidays, it really depends. And so, like I said, I worked at two offices. General dentistry usually have holidays off. It's just like, you know, it's fine. Or sometimes they would work until the day before certain, like Thanksgiving or Christmas and that. Working at a pediatric office, those are our big days. Those are busy days because those are the days that kids are off. So those are the days that we
Yeah.
benefit from, because we know that our kids are going to show up. So it really also, again, depends on your office. Again, I would ask, what certain days, what holidays you guys have off, what benefits and all that. So never shy away from asking those kind of hard, strong questions. I would write them down, take them with you, and make sure to ask about them.
Good. Well, that's definitely reassuring. Of course, we always tell our students, ask questions. There's no such thing as a dumb question. So I'm glad that you're saying that. And it's a refresher to hear it from a professional saying it's okay to ask those important questions, because that, in fact, is important for them to ask, because you want to weigh out, which office you want to work at. Well, this one does this. Well, this one does this. Well, I'm definitely going over here. So thank you for those encouraging words. What skills do you need to work in this environment in the dental field?
So some
Ashley?
So that's for me, yes. So for the skills for a dental assistant, you actually have to have the desire to help others. So you have to be willing to help and do whatever it takes to get them in and out the door, but happy as they're exiting the door. So interpersonal skills is really important. Listening skills is important. You got to listen to what your dentist wants, the hygienist wants, what your team members want. You got to be able to listen and go into action. And then you have to be detail oriented. And then you also have to always anticipate what the dentist needs next. So you always have to be, what I've learned being in this field for about 11 years, you always have to be like 2 to 3 steps ahead of the dentist, because she's going to want this, she's going to want that. What if something goes wrong? You have to be prepared. So you always have to think, what's the next step when I'm doing a filling? What's the next step when we're doing a space maintainer, or when we're doing a crown on a tooth or something? Something goes wrong. Do I have that instrument here in hand in the room so I don't have to exit out? And that's going to take too long. We're working with a 4-year-old or a 5-year-old. Like, you have to always anticipate what the dentist needs. And you're also working a lot with your hands. So we in the dental field, we use four-handed dentistry. So you're always using your hands, you're using them to swap out instruments with the dentist. And then you have your right hand holding the suction, you have your other one holding the tools. So you have to be able to like work really good with your hands. I feel like that's very important. You got to be fast too, especially with pediatric.
Wow, that sounds super intimidating, but I mean, if you've been doing it this long and you've enjoyed it, then it must be kind of really thrilling for you and kind of just makes
Yes.
sense after a while. You kind of just adapt to it.
Yeah, it's just like it's like riding a bike. You just like kind of know what she needs next or what he needs next, and you don't even really have to think about it. Doing it so many times, you just kind of it's just second nature to you.
Cool. Awesome. Is there any type of personality that goes well in this field that you've seen based off of your experience, Debbie?
Yes, so personality, you need to have compassion. You need to be caring. You need to be outgoing, also very bubbly, very outgoing as well, because you have to have that kind of, they have to feel the sense of security with you that you know what you're doing. So they definitely are looking for all those traits from you. Also, besides that, you know, be a big teamwork. Like Ashley was saying, like you have to be ahead of the game. So you have to think, you know, ahead of everything, because you also, like I said, you want your patients to feel secure, so they want to know that you have everything ready for them and you're actually prepared for them. So
Mhm.
definitely compassion, caring, teamwork, and outgoing would be some of the great personalities that you would need.
Okay. Yeah, that kind of reminds me when you were describing it about going like on a plane and taking flight. Like I want to know my pilot is secure, like that he's going because
Mhm.
I'm just sitting here. So tell me that you got this and make me feel comfortable. So it's almost the same thing when you sit in that chair, and you're rising me up to the occasion. I'm like, you got this. So I've never had to worry. So it's definitely a good trade and I can vouch for that as a patient. So that's fantastic. And do you ever have to work overtime? Or is it kind of just Monday through Friday, Monday through Saturday type of field?
So personally, that is one of the key things that I loved about being a hygienist, is that you usually do have a set time. Now, of course, with everything you can go over, it's pretty normal with any job that you work at, from like retail to a fast food restaurant to even like at a dental professional, health professionals. You have set times and sometimes it can go over, but for the most part, that's what I love, is that you have that 9 to 5, or like, you know, we have 7:30 to 4:30, so 7 to 4, things like that. So there is sometimes you do kind of go over, it's pretty natural, but I love the hours. I mean, personally, that's on my take. It's great that you have your set hours. You know, you
Yeah.
should have anything that I've heard that they're open at midnight or anything like that. So that's so great.
Right. Yeah, so I definitely work myself personally. I'm an outreach specialist for Del Valley ISD and Austin ISD. So I have a lot of seniors who already have kids. So they're asking me, what is something that I can do in the healthcare field, or something I'm unaware of that's going to match my kids' hours. So it's something that I can be home for them, that I don't have to work long hours and go into it. So it sounds like you really love your job, and it sounds like you can really count on your hours, and there's not really much fluctuation with that because it's pretty steady.
Mhm.
Yeah, for the most part, it is. Like I said, like with every job, there's like that possible, like it can run a little bit late. But like I said, like don't be shy when you go for an interview. Is you ask, what are your hours? Do you ever go over? Like, don't be shy, because you want to get a job that's gonna be great and perfect for you. If you're just getting any job, then you're not gonna be happy with it, and then you're just gonna like, it's just not gonna feel like a good environment for you. So definitely, if you're the kind of person that's like, oh, I need to be out by this time, just tell them, what are your hours, and could this office promise me that I'll be able to get out at a certain time, or just like word it where you can be comfortable and know that they have what you want and what you need.
Yeah. So you hear it, guys. Your communication starts right at the interview, because you're going to communicating with your team. You're going to be communicating with your dentist and the office. So definitely start from there. So that's really good to hear that there's some light at the end of the tunnel for them, because it seems like they pay very well in both professions. And it seems like you can climb the ladder and continue growing. And whatever position that you get into, you're not stuck there. You can continue going through education. So Ashley and Debbie, I have questions for you. More personal than kind of factual. If you were 18 again and you were able to communicate with yourself today, what would you tell your 18-year-old self? Who wants to take this?
So I'll start first. So I think the only thing that I would tell my 18-year-old self if I were to do this all over again would just be do more research. Find more schooling that's free or reduced or just cheaper than other schools that they're a lot faster, like the trade schools. And I'm not saying don't go to those, but they're just more expensive. I just wish that I was just such in a rush and I just got out of high school and I was I don't know what to do. And then I looked into dental assisting and then I found this trade school and then I just signed the paper and I got all these loans. And I just felt like I wish I would have done more research. I wish I just took more time and not rushed through it. Maybe I could have gone to community college. It would have been probably the same amount of time, and it would be a lot cheaper. I think at ACC right now, it's like a little over 4,000 and that's only for 1 year and you get everything that I got at a trade school. So I kind of wish I would have did that or like the dental assisting program. There's a few around here. There's some in Austin and outskirts area that have their program and their 12-week program and you only go on Fridays or only on the weekends and you finish your whole career just right there instead of going for 12 months. And it's a lot cheaper. It's only like a little over 3,000. So I kind of wish like I would have done that research just so I can save some money because I'm still paying my school loans. I think that's the only advice I would give myself. And also I did it later when I hit about 9 or 10 years in the field. I wish I would have gotten my sealant certificate, my nitrous, and my polishing certificate earlier rather than later. I guess I was just like, I really didn't even like research about it or know about it. I didn't even know you could do that. You can expand your duties and you can make more money. I really didn't like know that you could do that, but I wish I would have told myself way back then, like after the 2-year mark, go back and get my certificates, expand my duties, get more money, just kind of climb the ladder. I wish I would have told myself. I kind of did it a little bit later, which is fine, but those are the only 2 things I would have done differently so I could grow faster.
Yeah. Oh, awesome. Thank you, Ashley. So you heard her, definitely do your research, see what your ladder is for your career because every ladder will be different, but ask questions. If you have somebody at your dental office or you're working somewhere or you're already there, what do I need to do next to get my next pay grade? What could I do to earn more money? And if it's a certificate, then research who can I take that at? Who can pay for that? Don't just sign a paper and do it, definitely do your research. So thank you, Ashley, for that feedback because it's definitely something that we don't think of because we don't know to think of it.
Yeah. So when you're 18, you just sign it and you're like, oh.
Yeah. They're just ready to get out of the house.
Yes.
So I completely get that. It's really reassuring to hear that from you. My next question was any oral advice that you professionals can give us originals?
I think Debbie's gonna take that one.
So we always want everyone to have a successful oral care routine. So keynotes that we always recommend is we recommend using a rechargeable electric toothbrush just because it does wonders for your teeth. It does, the spinning, does the whole 2 minutes. So we do usually recommend, or I personally do recommend the electric toothbrush, as well as using a tongue scraper, brushing your tongue. A lot of our bacteria tends to kind of accumulate and get stuck on our tongues, and that can cause halitosis, which is like bad breath. So we definitely want you to, couple of strokes on there. If you've never used a tongue scraper before, just be aware, just do a couple of strokes. Within time, you'll start noticing that your tongue starts getting a little bit pinker and you start noticing more of that bacteria getting removed each time. I also do recommend is like flossing every night before you go to sleep. You can do the traditional long floss, or you can do the little floss pick, whichever one seems easier. The goal is to do it every night before you go to sleep, at least once a day. Also, mouth rinses. I do recommend a non-alcoholic mouth rinse. So depending on your own personal oral cavity, which is what you've probably heard at the dental offices at your regular 6-month routine, is whether you're more prone to gum diseases or more prone to plaque. Recommend that you use a mouth rinse that is more plaque fighting or plaque control. So look for that keyword when you're getting your mouth rinses. Or if you're more prone to cavities, that you tend to go to the dental office every 6 months, that they always tend to find cavities somewhere, then you're just a person that has a higher count of that bacteria that causes those cavities. And I would look for something that says fluoride, stainless fluoride on there. That way you can get more of that extra fluoride on your teeth to help counteract any cavities or any bacteria going on in your gums or your teeth. So those are my keynotes, is making to have that daily routine. You know, after this, don't quickly go to your grocery store and buy everything. Like, she can do everything. You know, slow progress. If you're a kind of person who doesn't floss every night, start with that. Start first getting a routine of flossing every night, and then slowly you want to add mouth rinsing into your life, and do it little by little. It's all about progress, and it's about like sticking to a certain routine. So the best thing to do it is do it by steps. So one thing at a time. If you're a person who only brushes once a day, let's do 2 times a day first, and then kind of go.
Baby steps. Amen. Well, I definitely learned something from you, and I can definitely go ahead and pass those on to my 8-year-old daughter, so that way she kind of grows into the habit. Because I think a big misconception that we have in our generation is that our parents didn't really tell us what we needed to do. We just thought we'd brush twice a day and that was it. So just kind of reprogramming that mind to do that. So even for us adults, I'm learning a lot from you too. So thank you. Thank you. These will get wider in time and healthier. But I have to say, I am cavity free for my entire life, knock on wood. Nothing of that happens from there. So just a couple facts for you people watching here. Dental assistants employed right now in the capital area, we have over 2,000. Looking into the future for the growth, there is going to be a total demand of 1,000 plus. So that means it's going to be job security. So if you go out and get your certificate to become a dental assistant, then know that there is going to be that demand for you to get a job. And again, the average annual wage is $40,000 per year, which equals out to $19 per hour. We're looking at the growth being over 187. And so as far as dental hygienists, that employment right now is over 1,000. We're looking at 1,300 right now. And that annual average wage for annually is going to be 82,000 in the capital area. Again, those annual wages will change depending on where you move in Texas. If you have a question, just go ahead and email me and I can let you know that wage for wherever you're moving. Again, hourly, that's going to be around $39 an hour, which is really good, you guys. Employment growth, we're looking over 106 in the capital area right now. And the total demand looking probably in the next 3 years is going to be 361 projections. So there will be job security for you if you go ahead and become a dental hygienist. So I want to thank Ashley and Debbie for doing this webinar interview, because this is spectacular. You're going to help so many people, not even just students, you know, people who are just, you know, at their dead end job, haven't done anything quite yet because they don't know what to do. This could be super informative for them, letting them know that they too can do this as well. So I'm going to be dropping some links below, you guys, to give you a little bit more of an insider. I have some YouTube video links that are going to show you what a day in the life of a dental hygienist, a dental assistant, and then the difference between the two, as well as what to expect in your dental routine, kind of a little bit what Debbie was saying, what we're doing at home, but inside of what they're doing at their offices. So I will also be linking other stuff, funding available for you if you want to go back to school to pursue becoming a dental assistant or a dental hygienist, as well as schools where you can go in the capital area to obtain those credentials. So without further ado, again, thank you too so much for being a part of this webinar. We hope that you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, feel free to email us. The link will be below. Thank you so much. Bye, ladies.